Hello and welcome to FinextraTV. I'm Hannah Wallace and we're here at the Temenos Community Forum 2025 in Madrid. Joining me now in the studio away from the busy event is Santhosh Rao, Managing Director for Middle East and Africa, Temenos, and Mohamed Al Zamil, COO of Reem Finance. Hello to the both of you. Thank you for joining us in the studio.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really good to have you on. As I say, we're discussing Middle East and African banking trends, a really interesting one. Santhosh, could you set the scene for us and tell us what are those main banking trends you're seeing today?
Sure. First and foremost, right, if you look at Middle East, that's a gateway for us to look into the African region as well. So most of the banks here are no longer looking just at Middle East, but they're looking at Middle East and Africa in total. So it's kind of like, banks with bold visions, banks that want to try a few new things. They're all setting up shop in the Middle East and they're trying to look at Middle East and beyond Middle East. And, if you just look at the population in Middle East and Africa as well, it's a pretty young, diverse, aspirational, mobile savvy, tech savvy kind of a population. And then when you look at, what we're offering today from the banking standpoint, let's take my home, in India. Mortgages have been there for years together, right? In different parts of the world, it's been there for years. When you look at Middle East and look at the real estate growth there, and look at where we are from a mortgage industry standpoint, which is a traditional business, right? You're still way behind. And there is a lot of innovation that's happening just in traditional areas like that. And then when you go into slightly newer areas like originating loans, like origination of loans is today happening through digital channels, which again is a great, gap that you're addressing in a space which is normally a traditional space, which is just loans, right? And then if you're looking at things like that, there is a lot of innovation that is happening. And then there are net new banks that are coming, net new digital banks, which are just doing everything, on a digital basis. So those are kind of trends that we're seeing in terms of how this landscape is, kind of transforming, how it's emerging in newer areas. Now what happens with all of this is you see changes also coming from a regulatory standpoint, right? Regulation is changing, there's more push for open banking initiatives, right? So there are newer banks coming up, there's more openness in terms of how you address traditional banking. And then if you go back into these new banks that are coming up again, they're not just looking at this tech savvy, young and aspirational youth, but they're looking at also servicing gaps in the traditional banking space. Like there is a lot of service gaps, like how long does it take to process a loan? How quickly do you onboard a customer? Those kind of changes that you're seeing happen, at a phenomenal pace today. Add to that AI. Right, that's coming, that's boosting innovation, right? So things like that is happening at a rapid pace, and these are just some of the trends that I can look at. Okay?
And those are some significant trends as well.
Massive. Like look at the penetration ability that gives you just by relying on your mobile networks. For example, if I take Africa as another region, right? The traditional banks, you're going into rural, semi-rural, semi-urban, there's no more brick and mortar, but at the same time you're getting the same service levels that are available via the channels, via non-physical infrastructure being present, but access to financial services. There's a lot of financial inclusion happening in that part of the world, getting people into the system, getting them access to the financial services. There's a lot happening in all of these, and this is just empowering for the end user in general as well.
It's a really exciting time for the region. Thank you, Santhosh, for bringing us up to date. And it brings me nicely on to my next question. Mohamed, tell us about your new community bank and how it's helping address those changing customer needs.
Sure, thank you. And totally agreed with what Santhosh has said. In the Middle East, the United Arab Emirates is leading the way actually when it comes to the digital innovations. And if you have noticed last week when President Trump was there, the core subject about the visit was AI and technology. So it will be inevitable for all the banks and financial institutions to evolve. In UAE for the last 15 years, I think the population has doubled. And banks are targeting all these new clients to offer these digital services. And it's actually the client who's leading the way on deciding which are the best bank to deal with. The reviews are there now on the market. Previously, 3-4 big players was there and just forcing these products to clients. Now the client has plenty of choices to choose from. So for us, it's imperative to have the latest state-of-the-art technology, and our community bank will be designed in a way to offer 3 layers of services to the clients. We will still have the core services as lending, which is definitely we are partnering in this with T24. We are having the vendors and the companies to onboard them as also our partners, and these fintechs will play a pivotal role in our growth, depending on the central bank regulations, where they are forcing these vendors to tie up with banks. They are not licensing them, as rightfully mentioned by Santhosh, but they are telling them to interact and deal with the bank, and these banks will be responsible for delivering these technologies and products to the clients. And we will be having the lifestyle banking, where now all the clients using their digital applications, they can use the mobile application to book for cinemas or tickets or do the shopping or even bank. So this lifestyle banking will give the full-fledged services to the clients, where we are mindful about the importance of giving them a one-stop to do everything. And if we don't do this, we are mindful that these clients will go and target another banks. So in Reem Finance, we opted to transfer our company now from a finance company to a digital bank, which for the first step will be serving as a community bank in the UAE. And hopefully in the future, we have plans to expand our presence and upgrade our license accordingly.
Well, watch this space. And what's it like running the new bank on SaaS then?
Actually, SaaS, if you ask me this question 10 years back, I will tell you that cloud is an enigma and security is something we need to worry about. Nowadays, instead of spending a lot of money as CapEx on investing on having a new data center and hiring people where they are fully aware about the system, and having some implementation partners where to help us buy the license in our name and keep it with us, and God knows for how many years we need to keep it. Due to the fast evolvement of the banking industry, SaaS actually serves as the best module for us. It's ready-made products. You can add and remove modules as you need. Actually, it's our life case in Reem Finance, where when we're a finance company, we have procured certain modules only as per our need and signed for a certain period of time. And when we took the approval to upgrade our license to a community bank, we procured only the additional license and adjusted the tenor remaining on the SaaS. And since the industry is evolving in a very, very fast pace, it gives us some resilience to choose which modules to add, which modules to remove, and what other fintechs we can plug in into our middleware without actually having the necessity to do any new investment in the infrastructure, rather than do it as just an ongoing OpEx. As per the need arises, we adapt accordingly.
It's such an exciting time. As Santhosh says, it's rapidly changing. So I'm looking forward to catching up with the both of you later down the line and reflecting on those insights. But I'll let you get back to the event. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.